Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'd like to share some tips with you on how you can improve your wooden dummy practice. It's really important that when you're practicing your wooden dummy, that you're practicing each technique correctly. So there is a lot to think about. You know, is my structure weak? Where's my energy directed? What's my footwork looking like? Are my hips forward? Would this imaginary punch hit me? Have I positioned myself correctly to make sure that I avoid this? The list goes on and on. If you're not conscious of these points, you can get into bad habits and become unaware of where you're actually going wrong. We don't want to just practice, we want perfect practice. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first point that I want to make is when practicing your dummy, you want to make sure that you're protecting your centre line, at the same time attacking the dummy centre line or central line. So what I mean by that is when you punch, we're attacking the dummy centre line, but at the same time we've got our elbows in, like this, protecting our centre line, at the same time having our woo sail up at all times for extra protection, and it's protecting the centre line there, that sort of thing. So you may be coming at the dummy from a different angle. Here, this is now attacking the central line of the dummy, but at the same time I'm still protecting my centre line by keeping my elbow in and keeping everything nice and tight. My next point is, what's the connection and shape of my arms? Is it easy to collapse? You must make sure your arms are at a sufficient angle to make sure that you deflect each attack. A technique that is either too close or too far away can put you at risk and compromise your safety. So what I mean by that is, when you do a tarn sail, we want to make sure that we're at a good angle here. We're not too close and we're not too far away. Also, my positioning is in the centre of my forearm here. Not too close to the wrist and not too close to the elbow like that. And it's the same with the foot sail, for example. Foot sail here is in the centre of my forearm here. It's not too close to the wrist and it's not too close to the elbow. Okay, so always be thinking about these things when practicing, as you would when you're practicing off your dummy. The next point is, where is my energy aimed? Never forget that both attack and defences are mostly forward energy, at least until you become more advanced. So for example, a double garn sail, like this, okay? See a lot of people coming across the dummy like this, okay? We need to make sure that our energy is going towards the dummy at the same time. So rather than coming across, we're actually coming forward. So we're still deflecting, okay? But it's going towards the dummy, so it's still a threat. If you come across the dummy like this, you're not only are you wasting energy, but you're also leaving yourself in a vulnerable position. You're no longer protecting your centre line, because you've got to imagine once it comes across, you've left that opening here, okay? Whereas if you come forward, you're still deflected, but you're still coming forward and you're still posing a threat. Another example I'd like to show you is using gum sail. So as you use gum sail, okay, we're not just coming across the dummy like this, okay, across. We're actually coming forward. It's forward, okay? So you're still gaining control of the situation. You're still causing your opponent to lose their structure, and you're not compromising your own safety. We must keep the energy forward to gain control, break their structure, and more importantly, protect your centre line. So my next point is, are my hips forward throughout my dummy practice? We all know one of Wing Chun's core principles is to keep our hips forward at all times. We keep our hips forward to align and connect the body whilst trying to generate power from the ground. By keeping your hips forward, it enables us to propel a forwards, upwards and outwards motion, which is known as the yang motion in yin and yang. So for example, when we use our po pai is this one here, okay? So as we're keeping our hips forward, we're creating a forwards, upwards and outwards motion, okay? And try it on the other side here. So when we're doing our po pai, so instead of just going into the dummy this way, keeping our hips forward, I don't know if you can see that, but it creates this sort of motion rather than a motion. So this is just something for you to be mindful of. The last point that I'd like to make today is, what's my footwork looking like? Is my stance strong? Am I bending and sinking my knees? When I'm moving around the dummy, am I aware of any obstacles that might be in the way that I need to be aware of? Am I leaning on the dummy or relying on the dummy for balance and structure when kicking? So before trying to pull up anything fancy on the dummy, you must make sure that your stance is correct first. So that's about shoulder width apart. Normally, we have our toes pointing inward slightly to protect the groin. And then as you're moving around the dummy, you're maintaining that same distance, shoulder width, the whole time, making sure you are aware of any obstacles as well that might be in the way there. Okay, so it's just having that awareness throughout your movement around the dummy, and obviously maintaining that footwork as well. Okay, so just to add to that about what I said about with the kicking and the balance, relying on the dummy for balance, just for an example, as you're coming around the dummy, step in, kick in here, okay, you're making sure that you've got your balance. I'm not leaning on the dummy here, I'm not relying on the dummy for balance, kick in and then carrying on, okay. The Wing Chun dummy can teach you a lot. Even if you're not at the stage of knowing your full form, it can still teach you, to sharpen up on your shapes, your technique, your basics and your footwork and much more. The wooden dummy is not just a piece of wood. It's a precision training tool designed to refine your structure, your timing and your technique. The wooden dummy will also condition your body too, but I can't guarantee that you won't be covered in bruises in the beginning. Anyway guys, that's all for today's video. If you did enjoy this video and you find some of these tips helpful, then please hit the like button. If you're new to this channel and you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And yeah, I really do hope some of these tips give you something to think about and they help you on your Wing Chun journey. See you in the next video, guys.